Hi, I'm Leppard. Hope everyone's all right today. It's album reviews time. So I did say I was going to change it up a little bit. More reactions, less album reviews. So what I'm going to do, this is an album review episode, but I'm going to tie in quite a few. So like a quick shot review for you. So this is almost like the albums I've been listening to this week. So what I thought would be a bit different as well, I won't always do albums that are brand new. In this episode, I've got 3 albums, or 2 albums and 1 EP. 1 EP that's been released already, that was available in March this year. I've got 1 album that's just been released and 1 album yet to be released. So it mixes it up a little bit. I might even do older stuff. It just depends what I feel like doing that week. So this is the first one of that sort of series. So almost, you know, what's hot this week, what I've been listening to. So the first one I want to talk about, the first release, is the EP from a band called Wings of Steel. It's their self-titled EP. This is a new band, so this is their first release. They're from America. This EP got brought out on March the 11th independently. It's got 5 tracks on it. The band consists of just 2 guys, Peter Halab on the guitar and Leo Unamark on the vocals. Now these guys, not sure who does the rest of the instruments. That's all I've got really, so I'm not sure who does the bass and drums. This is a brilliant EP. Now I reacted to their song Blackout the Street probably about a week ago, only a few days ago probably, and I thought I'd give the rest of the EP a good listen. And man, I love this EP. It's outstanding throughout. There's loads of variety on this. It's all in that heavy rock stroke metal vein, but within those 5 tracks, loads of variety. So kicks off with a couple of tracks that are very early 80s American metal sounding. Storm Child, which is an absolute stormer of a track, suits the name perfectly. That's the first song, and it goes into the title track Wings of Steel, and that's what I mean. These tracks are very early 80s classic metal sounding to me. Absolutely great tracks. Then we go into a song called Rhythm of Desire. This is a more bluesy sort of song, but heavy blues. That sort of late 80s feel you got with a lot of those bands. Now on this song in particular, I've got to say, I mean, all the way through, these 2 guys are outstanding musicians. The vocalist is just amazing. On this song, in Rhythm of Desire, he really stretches and almost sounds like, I mean, my mate Ralph said he sounds like Tony Harnell. I would definitely go with that. But also Tony Mills of Shy, and then TNT. Tony Mills sadly passed away. One of my favourite vocalists. Hits that high end easy, that upper register. Just a brilliant vocal this guy's got. Leo Unamark. It's just an amazing voice. And it ain't until this song, I mean, his vocals are great throughout, but he really starts stretching at the end of Wings of Steel, the title track, and then Rhythm of Desire is just a mind-blowing vocal display. Absolutely brilliant. And then we go into Camsin Riders. This is an acoustic song with just vocals, so another different song. So far we've had 2 sort of 80s inspired metal songs, 1 bluesy song, 1 acoustic song, and then we finish with the brilliant Blackout the Street, which is an epic heavy rock song. Man, I love every single song on this EP for lots of different reasons. I mean, like I said, it gives you a lot of variety within those 5 songs. Can't wait to hear something more from these guys, and I don't want to go without mentioning the guitarist Peter Halab. He is just fantastic. There's loads of pinch harmonics going on, loads of heavy riffing, really melodic guitar solos and riffing throughout. You guys are gonna love this. Wings of Steel, self-titled EP. And the next album I want to talk about is Def Leppard Diamond Star Halo. So this came out last Friday. Oh man, I don't know what to say about this one. I really can't get on with it. I've listened to it 3 times now. I know when something's going to be a grower. By the 3rd time, I've definitely got hooked on it. But this is a real disappointment for me. Now, I sort of understand where fans latch onto bands, and they latch on at different periods of a band. Now, I'm 51 now. So I latched on from a really early age with Def Leppard. I sort of liked On Through the Night. Then High and Dry hooked me. It was a big part of me growing up in the early 80s, and then Pyromania just blew my mind totally. So that was when I was hooked on Def Leppard. And this sort of happens to a lot of fans with bands. It depends when you become a fan, you know, and Def Leppard, I think, have got that, where fans of a certain age, when they first started liking Def Leppard, that's when they get hooked on them. So I've seen, like, you know, across plenty of fan pages, different fans, different favourite albums, and it just really does depend on when you got into them. It's like let's take Iron Maiden for instance. I'm a massive fan. My Peace of Mind and Power Slave are the albums for me. A lot of fans, when they were a bit older than me, think Iron Maiden and Killers are the albums. And then you get the fans that think Fear of the Dark is the best album. A lot of it really depends when you got into the band and taste, remember. So this review is just my taste alone. It's not anyone else's. This is just what I think. I don't expect Def Leppard, I've said this before, to do another Pyromania or another High and Dry. I understand that that's not going to happen. That's not exactly what I want either. I don't want them to copy anything. I want them to evolve as a band. But I want certain things from Def Leppard. I want them to be, you know, not followers of other bands. I want them to lead like they used to. They used to lead bands into copying Def Leppard. They were the band. So I want to see a little bit of that. I don't see any of that here. Now, the first single, didn't get along with at all. That was Kick. I still don't like it whatsoever. I don't like anything about it. I don't get I understand if they're T-Rex fans or whatever. I can hear the riffs that are very T-Rex inspired. Fair enough, but just not for me. Then they brought out Take What You Want, and I was a bit excited because I really like this song. Now, I think I got a bit too overexcited with Take What You Want. It's a good track. It's a good rocker. You know what? I listen to so much music. I hear a better track than Take What You Want weekly. It's a good rocking track, but is it that good? I think for me, I was just excited to hear something a bit heavier. I think I got a bit excited. Now I've listened to it again. I think it's okay. Will I keep repeating it over and over again? And will it be at the top of my, playlist? No, it won't, but it's okay. Especially good within this group of songs that Def Leppard have produced. Another couple of tracks of mine favourites. Probably my favourite track is SOS Emergency. I really like that track. I think it's really good. And Give Me a Kiss ain't bad. But there's some really poor decisions, I think, from Def Leppard on this. Some really uninspired, poor decisions. I think it lacks originality. I think that some of the choices they've made in their songwriting is really poor. It's low energy. They do a country song, and I don't mean a southern rock song. I mean a country song called This Guitar with Alison Krauss. She actually guests on 2 songs. Ain't wrong with Alison Krauss, it's fine. But that song, This Guitar, I mean, I know Vivian Campbell's probably earning a good wage at the moment. I understand he's with the band. You know what I mean? With rock and metal these days, if he wasn't doing Def Leppard, I don't know, he might not be earning that much money. So he's with Def Leppard, and you understand the paycheck that he's getting. That goes without saying. But I bet when they played him, please don't say this was Vivian Campbell's song. I really don't believe it, but I bet he went into the studio, or they sent him the tape, the recording of This Guitar, and said, and I bet he sort of smiled, gritted through his teeth, and so, oh yeah, good track, lads, and thought, what the hell is going on? I mean, this is the same guitarist that produced some of the best guitaring ever put to vinyl. Holy Diver and Last in Line are 2 of the best guitar albums you'll ever find. And, if he's mellowed out like that, but you could tell he hasn't, because he has to have the band Last in Line to get his riffage out. He still wants to get that out of him. So I don't think, musically, if he could tell the truth and just be honest, I don't think he's happy in this band musically, in my opinion. Liquid Dust, poor, low energetic song. There's like 3 or 4 ballads. From Here to Eternity is a bit darker. It's probably a little bit better than the others, but the other ballads are just uninspired stuff. There's probably about 3 tracks on it that have that hysteria feel, so I can understand some fans are going to be happy with that hysteria feel. I would say Fire It Up, You Rock Me, All We Need is probably, you know, the most hysteria type inspired tracks. But, you know, I wasn't a massive fan of Hysteria. You know, Pyromania is where it ended for me. I thought Hysteria was okay, but that's what you got to hear, you know, in the future years sometimes, that sort of poppy sort of stuff. And people have said to me, you know, they are pop that rocks. That's what they are. You know what, I might be quite happy with pop that rocks, but I don't even think hardly any of this rocks. Hardly. It's just, you know, it's just poor. In my opinion, there's not one song on here that I would, you know, if you talk about my favourite tracks of the year, I would put on my favourite tracks of the year, I'm afraid. And I'm a big early Def Leppard fan, and I've liked some of the tracks in between, but you like what you like, so that's it. So I'm sorry, those Def Leppard fans, just my opinion. You might like it, and I hope you do. I really do. Next album. So the last album I want to talk about is one that's yet to be released, June the 17th on Frontiers Records. It's Jorn and Over the Horizon Radar. This has 11 tracks. It's his 10th studio album. Man, what can you say about Jorn Londe? I just love his vocal. And I think this album, along with Life on Death Road, is even an improvement on his brilliant catalogue that he's had already. I've got a few favourites in the Jorn catalogue. Probably World Changer is one of my favourites, and I love Spirit Black. That one just hooks me in. This one is sort of a bit more going back to the World Changer sort of era, I would say. And I think Life on Death Road did a little bit of that. It's sort of going back to his beginnings more. And what I love about this album as well is it's a grower. It's a real grower. Some of the choruses especially are not so instant as other choruses that he's had. I think it might be on purpose, you know, because I don't know about you guys, but if a chorus grips me on first listen, when on the first chorus I'm hooked, I almost have enough of it after a little while. A few plays, I'm like, yeah, it's albums that really grow on me are the ones that stick with me over the years. One instance of this, I mean, this is years and years back, but it's one of my favourite albums, and I can listen to it like I heard it yesterday. And that's Queensryche's Rage for Order. Really hard to listen to. When you first heard that album, it blew your mind in a weird way, and you thought, what the hell is this? Where's the hooks? Where's the melodies? And then all of a sudden they get you, and then you're hooked, and then it doesn't let go. I think with these last 2 albums by Jorn, I think that's what he's going for. It's something that's maybe not so obvious. The hooks are there, and you can feel them with each listen just grow and grow and grow. There's some outstanding tracks on this. My favourites would be the 2 singles for definite, Over the Horizon Radar. One Man War is just amazing. I love Dead London. I love the sort of, he's mentioning places in London, streets and stuff like that. I love that because obviously I'm from England. There's some epic tracks on this, like My Rock and Roll, quite epic. As you can imagine, Jorn is always got that epic feel, that sort of Dio feel. There's Special Edition, which is a bit of a strange track. The chorus takes a while to get hold of you, and you think, what is this? It's a bit weird, but then that, like I said, it's a grower. We have some galloping going on Ode to the Black Nightshade. That's a great track. And I love the track that he entered for Eurovision, which is Faith Bloody Faith. That's on here. It's like the album version, I think. He entered the Norwegian Eurovision. I love that track. Really catchy, that one. Brilliant melodic metal stroke classic rock. Produced by Jorn Londe. Mixed and mastered by Alessandro Del Vecchio, who also does some keys on here. Obviously Jorn on vocals. Tor Moren on the guitar. Adrian Espy on the guitar. These guys are brilliant. I mean, they're busy guitarists. It's not all about riffing. There's loads of little intricate stuff going on, loads of pinch harmonics and squealing stuff going on all the way through this. The bass guitarist, Nick Mazzaconi, is excellent, along with Francesco Giovinazzo on the drums. The band, I mean, Jorn always surrounds himself by great musicians. And I have said this on on a reaction to one of the new songs, is that I think what I love about Jorn is it is like a solo album. His name's on it, but it's a real band effort. The musicians are so good, and he gives them so much time to breathe. There's extended guitar solos. He's like, look at these musicians I've got in my band. They are brilliant. Have a listen. It's not all about him, which I love. Even production, I'd say on these last two albums, he's sort of taken a step back vocally. It's not so much up front, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, I love Jorn's voice. Everyone knows I think he's one of the best vocalists in the world. But he's almost in the mix. It's well balanced. It's not too up front as it has been in some past Jorn albums. And I think that's a great thing. That's what I loved about the Master Plan album, Time to Be King. I love the balance with Jorn's voice and the instruments. It was a great choice, I think, and that's what seems to be happening now. So a real grower of an album. You can't go wrong with Jorn Londe. His vocals are outstanding still. I mean, he's 50, I think he might be 53, 54 years old now. He's not slowing down. He's just superb. I love Jorn. You guys are going to love this album. It's out on June the 17th on Frontiers. 11 tracks just to, make your year. It's absolutely brilliant. Thanks for listening to this episode of album/EP reviews. Hope you like this sort of style, very quick fire. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you heard any of the albums I've been talking about? What do you think of them? And are you going to get the Jorn album? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you next time.